Hello everyone, welcome to the Infotech. Today we will learn about Typescript Decorators. In this video, we will know about features of decorators and the components used to develop decorators in Typescript. Also, I will show you some practical examples. So before starting this video, I want from you to please like, share and subscribe. In this video, I will explain you each and everything, how decorators work under the hood, what is the process of executing decorators, and what are the at the time of compiler what decorator functions are created. So everything I will explain you with practical example. So be in this video and watch this video complete so you can get complete understanding of this decorator in Typescript. In this Typescript playground, I have written some code and I will explain you what I have written and how these decorators are working. So this Typescript code is transpiled into JavaScript. So a decorate function, metadata, param. These three functions are created by the transpiler itself. A function log parameter uppercase add prefix, and this class is written by me, which is transpiled into JavaScript. And when any decorator attached to any of this, then this decorate function is automatically called when you run this code. Okay, so in here you can see this is a function log is a decorator factory. Inside this I have created a decorator function, and the log function return the decorator function here. So log is a method decorator that has three parameters. First one is target, property key and property descriptor. What I am doing here is I keep the original method from descriptor dot value and replace the original method in descriptor dot value with another function, and inside this function I am calling the original method and result and return the same result from original method and return the result. So when anyone call this method, so original output will he or she will get, and at last I am returning the descriptor. If I do not return the descriptor, then here it is not any here it will not create any issue. But when it will create issue when I will use multiple method decorator in a single method. That time it will create issue because one method decorator will override other method decorator. So if you use multiple decorators in single method, then must return this descriptor, method descriptor. And log parameter, this is a parameter decorator. Here I am just consoling this parameter from this log parameter decorator. Uppercase is a property decorator. What I am doing here is I am just picking the value, original value from the property, and replace the getter setter function. I have defined a getter function which return the original value, and setter function is when I will set any property, that time the value will be automatically converted into uppercase, and that will be assigned to this value. And object dot defined property, I am redefining the property descriptor with these attributes. Okay, and it has the upper property decorator has two parameters which we have to pass at the time of declaring property decorator, that is target and property key. And in parameter decorator we have to pass target, method name and parameter index. Here I have created one decorate factory, that is add prefix, passing a prefix and returning a decorator function for the class, and that has only a single parameter, that one is target. And in the class decorator, if we are changing the constructor, if we are returning new constructor, then must maintain the prototype of the original constructor. If you change the prototype of the class, then the class will be completely changed. So must maintain the, that's why I am extending here the target, so its prototype will be maintained, and anytime this class will be instantiated, this console.log will be execute. Here in my class add, we have defined with the decorator add prefix in message property declared with the uppercase decorator, in greet log decorator, and in name parameter there is a log parameter decorator, and in the right side that is a transpiled code. I am just copying this code and show you the after executing it what will be the output. I just paste it here, and replacing this decorate function. This is a minified version of decorate function. I have a unminified version that the variable names are well understandable. So replacing this decorate function, I will explain you each and so I can explain you each and everything very well. Copying this decorate function and replace with the minified version. Okay. Here in the decorate function, that is automatically created by the transpiler. Here it is a decorators array, a target, key, and the descriptor. I have consoling each of things to make you understandable, and arguments length, this function arguments length, what arguments are coming when decorator function is called. Property descriptor, the decorator's property descriptor, like if argument length is less than 3, then the target will be the property descriptor. If greater than 3 and description is not equal to null, descriptor is equal to null, then object dot get on property descriptor, using get on property descriptor getting the property descriptor of this key, and if it is not null, then returning the same descriptor which is coming from this decorate function. Now coming to the decorator. Here I am not explaining you reflect, because it is internally doing the things, and it is same things it is internally doing whatever it is written. If reflect object is not found in the current environment, then this code will be run, and in this using this code you can understand the things what is going on. So every day when every decorator called, the property descriptor is returned, and this property descriptor is assigned to this variable, and that is returned from the decorate function. And if any method have multiple decorators, then the sequence of calling those decorators will be from bottom to top, which is the nearest decorator of the method that will be called first. So the bottom will be called first, then one by one calling in a sequence of bottom to top. So now I am running this code, node.test.js. Okay, here node.test.js, first line is true, means reflect API is available. Then arguments line is printing. This one is for message is a class property. This one is for class property, message property decorator. So the argument passed in the property decorator length is 4. Here you can check it. The decorate function is called using uppercase. Its parameters length is 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, and these are the arguments, uppercase and undefined. Metadata returns undefined. It just set a metadata using reflect API. Here you can see. it's just set a reflect meta set into key value pairs, and it is set by this is a key and string is a value. And uppercase is our decorator. So here uppercase is our decorator, and undefined, that is written nothing, that's why it is undefined. Then my class dot prototype is the second parameter. Now when this decorate function called, its array have decorate arguments length will be 4, and what will be the property descriptor? Property descriptor is 4, that means less than 3 is false, so it will go to the this else condition. Descriptor is null. Yes, descriptor is null, so this line will be called in case of class property. So property descriptor is assigned to the property descriptor. Now I am not going into inside the reflect object. So coming here, decorator dot length, here you can see that loop is running from in opposite direction, like length -1, and it is 1 I minus minus, means from the last to from the bottom to top. So bottom decorator will be execute first. Here decorate function will execute, and here is also a conditions of executing decorator. If argument length is less than 3, here it is not less than 3, so it will go to the else condition. It's less than 4, so this will execute, this decorator function will execute in case of property. So what we have, uppercase target property, else arguments dot length will be greater than 4, so target key and property descriptor. Here in uppercase there is no property descriptor, but this decorator will call and property descriptor will come undefined. Here I already explained the uppercase function what is going on. So when this function returns, this function is not returning any descriptor, because it doesn't have any descriptor, so it just redefined its property descriptor. Here you can see it is redefined. Now coming to the another decorator, coming to the function decorator, there is a log, param, and these metadata are automatically added by the transpiler. Here key name is greet and my class dot prototype, and descriptor is null. In case of method and param decorator, descriptor is also passing null. So in case of method, that is greet, wherever the key is greet, here is key is greet, and its length is also 4. So in case of method, its length is 4, the property descriptor will be coming into the it's not less than 3, so it will go to the descriptor is null. Yes, its descriptor is null, so this descriptor is fetching by the object dot get on property descriptor and assigned to the property descriptor. And decorator will be called here. This function, decorator function, is called while running loop, and log method decorator is here, and it is, you can already I explained you that original function is replaced by this new function, and that original function is called inside this function, and it return the updated descriptor. So at the time of calling this greet method, this function will be called instead of the original method, and because this descriptor is updated. If we do not return this descriptor, then this will be absolutely fine, there will be no any error. But if I use multiple decorator, then it will not work. I will show you when I will use multiple decorators. I hope you can understand what I am trying to say. This to understand decorators, you have to understand this decorate function, how this decorate function is working, then only you can understand the decorators. And also you have to understand this define property descriptor, reflect apis, and define property. These things you have to understand completely the decorators in TypeScript. Now I will show you a nest.js, a little nest. I have created a project like nest.js which works like nest.js. Like I have created a controller decorator, method get decorator. So how in nest.js, I assume that in nest.js in this way it works. I will show you the examples. Okay, how nest.js works under the hood using decorators, like how routes will be configured using decorators, and how parameters and classes injects using the decorators. So I will explain you those. So please be in this video and watch the complete video to understand more. In the decorator class, here you can see that there are multiple decorators. A class has one decorator, that is controller, and property has two uppercase, method login method has two get, and my case register has one get, and two parameter register has two parameter, that is decorated with transform to uppercase. First, coming into the controller decorator, in decorator files there is a controller decorator. Here I am not doing anything. That is decorated with the decorator factory, which passing a route parameter from the login controller class. Here it is, that is login register. This is a route which I am passing in the decorator factory function, that is route, and it returns a function which has a one parameter, that is target. So in class decorator we have to pass one function, that is target. And here I am doing nothing here, just defining a metadata using reflect API, and the key is of that metadata is route, and the value of that route is route that is coming from the decorator factory function, that is route, and defining metadata in the target.prototype. So and return the target from here. I'm doing nothing, just defined a metadata here. Okay, and in the two uppercase of name property, coming to the two uppercase, in two uppercase already I shown you in the previous example, just like the getter and setter function. Here what I am doing is, there is a in two uppercase there is no decorator factory function. I am just directly creating the decorator which has two parameters like target and property key. So I'm keeping the old value in the value variable and updating those getter and setter function. In setter function we only assign a string value. If there is no we are assigning a numeric or that is not a string value, then it will throw an error that called only string allowed. Okay, and at the time of getting that property, the value will be automatically converted into uppercase. And redefining the property descriptor, redefining the descriptor values by new values on this property key which I am passing in the decorator function. Now coming to the get decorator, get decorator is here. In the get method decorator, I am also not doing here also, only the decorator factory function, passing route from the decorator factory function and returning a decorator function from inside the decorator factory function, which has three parameters: target, property key, and descriptor. So here we defining data with reflect API. Route is the key of the metadata, and this route is a value of this route key. Target is the target, and this is a property key in which property I am assigning in this metadata. So and after that we are returning this descriptor. And now coming one more decorator, that is my cache. In my cache there is just a caching system in this using this decorator. I just put the original method value from descriptor dot value, keep original method in this original method variable, and override the original method in descriptor dot value from a new function. This is a function, and this is decorated with factory decorator factory, and my case passing a key. That key is a just a creating one map object, and that cache map dot get key. This map object stores data into key value pair, and in this key I am storing the result of the original method output in using cache map dot set, and return the result. If this in this method, if key exists in the cache map, then returning the data from the cache without calling the original method. So it will save our time to calling the original method if it takes more time. So it will return from the cache from the next time first call. Okay, in this parameter decorator, this is also decorated with a decorator factory transform to uppercase. Whatever we pass in this decorator factory function, that will be returned using to uppercase, means that will be converted into uppercase and returned by this decorator function. And in parameter decorator function, there will be three parameters, that is target, method name, and parameter index. So here we are defining metadata with params, and this lines means if any other metadata is already assigned with this property, this method name means this property, this is a property key. So if any previous metadata is assigned to this property, so it will here spread, and one more metadata will be added here. So this is an array of metadata in the params decorator. Okay, and here in this object parameter index, I keep the parameter index and a callback function that will be called at the time of passing passing the parameter into the handler function target method name. So coming into the controller code, now when this controller decorator is called, as I shown you here over here, it is defined that metadata is used at the time of resolving the routes. So at the resolving route, it iterates with all the controller and fetching that route key which I have assigned in the decorator function route. This route I have assigned with this class name target.prototype, and that is fetched it in at the time of resolve routes, and fetch the controller which is assigned to that route, and in that way fetch the methods route if it is attached, get on property names, and filter all the method name I fetched from this class, and this methods filter with the segments 1. That means if the first segment is a class route and the second segment is the function route, method handler route, so if it is matched, then the method will be returned, and that method I am returning from this resolve route function which is called in here. And parameter routes I am resolving here. So here the params route which I am decorating here in the parameter route transformed to uppercase. Here you can see the defined metadata is setting in the method name which is property key, and the target is the second parameter. So I am fetching the same metadata from params, target, and the class method, and all the params array is set there, that is that which I am getting it here. So looping it into here and setting the params array that is empty before with the param key parameter index. So it set this array in a sequence of like 0 1 2 3 and call that callback function which I have created over here, a callback function, and whatever I passed from the transform, that is this str is uppercase and return it from here and assign this in this array, and that array is spread out and passing into this handler function. Okay. Now I will execute this code and show you the output of this code. As in the earlier, as I told you that I can run this TypeScript code directly with this command start ts. So I am running this command here, npm run start ts. Here as you can see that all the decorator functions are called immediately once it is declared. Method decorator called get, login method, parameter, both parameter decorator called. Now I am executing this code, and this server code is listening in 3000 port. So if I access this login method, we have to pass login register, then login, localhost 3000 login register login. Here you can see login method the infotech. What login method this dot name it is written the infotech in small letters, but here in the output it is showing in caps. This is happened because of this two uppercase decorator. And if I call a register function here, if I call here register function, then that decorator will be, that handler will function will be, this handler function will be called, and the register method param message, the test is converted into uppercase, and message one, that demo is converted into uppercase and returning this output. Register method param test and demo, where you can see in the index.ts that I am calling this login object class method and params array passing and which and data, and that data is returning in the response.write. So if I uncomment this dot name, I want to show you one thing. If I uncomment this dot name and run restart the server again, it will throw error because the name decorator to uppercase, there is a check in to uppercase that only string will be assigned in the value. If any other than string comes, then this error will be thrown. You can check it. Now I am executing this. The server kills and the error will be thrown to the terminal. Here you can see error only string allowed, because I am trying to assign a numeric value in this name. That's why the error is thrown, because here I am throwing an error in this decorator function. And in this method decorator login, it has two decorators, get and my cache. Now look into the my cache decorator, how it works. Restarting the server, like npm run ts no start ts. Okay. Now running this login route from the browser. In the first request, you can see the response is login method the infotech. If I hit it again, then the response is coming from the cache instead of the original method. Every time now it will coming from the cache, because in this way the caching functionality is working with decorator function. In my cache decorator, if you look into the code here, the original function is override by the new function, and if cache key is found, then it is returning from here instead of calling the original method. If key is not found, then original method is called and set this result into this key using cache map dot set. In this multiple example, I have showed you multiple examples with multiple decorators. Now I hope that you understand it very well how decorators are working. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, so it will motivate me, and I will upload a new video with complex concepts. So please motivate me with like, share and subscribe. Thank you.